The legendary Prince of Darkness and pioneer of heavy metal, Ozzy Osbourne, is being remembered at 76. Few figures in rock history have left such a powerful mark as Ozzy. He wasn't just a music icon, he was a global legend, admired and loved by generations. Yet, in his later days, life for the man behind the myth seemed far quieter than many might imagine. Fame and infamy no longer defined him. Instead, his focus had shifted to something deeper, far more human. Instead, Ozzy's thoughts had turned to something deeply personal, a final wish that only his wife, Sharon, could help him fulfill. It wasn't just any wish, but one so meaningful that it defined his later days and brought him a rare sense of peace. If Ozzy Osbourne's legacy has ever made you laugh, think, or feel inspired, take a moment to show your support by liking this video and subscribing so you never miss more incredible stories. Drop a 1-inch the comments if Ozzy's music or journey has ever resonated with you, or a 0 if you see it differently. Now, let's dive into this heartfelt story and uncover what truly brought Ozzy a sense of peace in his final chapter. Weeks later, the world mourned as Ozzy Osbourne, the man whose voice defined generations of rock, faced the final act of his legendary journey. His legacy remains monumental, a life filled with chaos, brilliance, and unforgettable music that changed the course of rock forever. In his later months, Ozzy seemed deeply aware of how fleeting time can be. After years of living with Parkinson's disease, his health had visibly declined, and he came to accept the reality that each moment mattered more than ever. Through it all, Sharon Osbourne, who had stood by him through every storm, recognized the seriousness of her husband's condition long before most. She wasn't just his wife, she was his closest companion and unwavering source of strength, guiding him through the quiet, difficult days that few ever witnessed. Sharon did everything in her power to make sure that Ozzy's final chapter was one of calm, love, and peace. The final chapter of Ozzy Osbourne's life was not just a story of loss, but a heartfelt tribute to Sharon's devotion and her determination to preserve the beautiful memories they had created together. She faced the heartbreak of watching her lifelong partner grow weaker, yet she also became the guardian of his final wishes. Through every difficult moment, Sharon showed extraordinary resilience and unconditional love, standing firmly by Ozzy's side as they both prepared for the inevitable. Though he no longer had the strength to do the things he once loved, Ozzy spent his last days surrounded by family, comforted by Sharon's warmth and care. His closing chapter was more than the end of a legendary journey. It was a lasting testament to love, sacrifice, and a musical legacy that will echo forever. Parkinson's disease is an unrelentingly progressive condition, and it took a toll on many parts of Ozzy Osbourne's body, especially his legs, as Sharon once shared in an earlier interview. Though everyone understood that his health would not return to what it once was, seeing a man who had commanded the stage with such electrifying energy become physically fragile was deeply emotional. Yet, what truly stood out was Ozzy's unshakable spirit. Even as his body weakened, his mind remained sharp and his humor intact. Those closest to him often spoke of his wit and warmth, how he could still make people laugh, lighten heavy moments, and remind everyone of the heart that had always defined him. Despite the challenges, Ozzy continued to be a source of strength and laughter for those who loved him most. Even as Ozzy Osbourne's body grew weaker, his voice, the very essence of what made him a legend, remained untouched by the cruel grip of illness. Fans who had admired him for decades said his voice still carried that unmistakable strength and soul, a living echo of the extraordinary talent he shared with the world. Though his body no longer matched the energy of his youth, his voice remained as powerful, emotional, and magnetic as ever, captivating listeners and reminding everyone why he could never be forgotten. It was the clearest proof of Ozzy Osbourne's timeless gift and the enduring power of his music, a legacy destined to live on in the hearts of fans, far beyond the limits of time. It was a striking contrast, a man whose body had weakened, yet whose spirit seemed lifted by something far greater than himself. Even as Ozzy Osbourne battled the relentless effects of Parkinson's, he drew upon an inner strength that carried him through his final challenges. Those closest to him noticed a change in his outlook during his later weeks. Ozzy grew quieter, more introspective, as if each day was a step back through the chapters of his extraordinary life. His conversations with Sharon often revolved around cherished memories, the wild, untamed years with Black Sabbath, the triumphs of his solo career, and the deep, imperfect but powerful love that defined their family. Few could claim to have lived as vividly as Ozzy Osbourne. As time grew more precious, he spent it reflecting on the life he had built and the legacy that would remain long after him. Sharon Osbourne later hinted at those private conversations, revealing that Ozzy had opened up to her about a few deeply personal things he felt compelled to complete before he could truly find peace. His words weren't merely about final wishes, they reflected the heart of a man seeking closure, understanding, and serenity after a lifetime of chaos and glory. Whatever it was, Sharon shared, she had made it her mission to see it through. For her, it went beyond love or caregiving. It became a spiritual promise to honor what mattered most to him. During those final weeks, Sharon wasn't just a devoted wife, she was his steady anchor, ensuring his heart, his music, and his legacy would remain protected and at peace. It wasn't a simple or symbolic request, it was a deeply personal wish, one that Sharon Osbourne carried with the weight of love, loyalty, and duty. As his wife, partner, and longtime manager, she took it upon herself to see that his final desire was fulfilled, no matter how difficult it might be. For fans around the world, the announcement of Ozzy Osbourne's passing on July 22nd came as a heartbreaking shock, the closing of a monumental chapter in rock history. Yet for those closest to him, the moment carried a bittersweet peace. Ozzy didn't simply fade into silence. He chose to face the end with purpose and strength, leaving behind a life completed on his own terms, a farewell as bold and unforgettable as the man himself. In his final days, Sharon Osbourne never left his side, making sure that every moment unfolded exactly as Ozzy had wished. With unwavering strength and endless love, she became more than a devoted wife. She was his closest companion, the one who helped him bring his final wish to life. Those last days were a blend of love and quiet protection, of honoring his wishes while gently preparing for what was to come. When the time finally arrived, it wasn't a hollow ending, but a meaningful farewell, one marked by peace, fulfillment, and the unmistakable sense that Ozzy Osbourne's journey had come full circle, just the way he intended. Ozzy Osbourne's final wish was profoundly moving, yet it was fulfilled in true Ozzy fashion, with strength, purpose, and a deep respect for everything he had built throughout his extraordinary life. And the woman who had stood beside him for more than 4 decades, Sharon Osbourne, made sure that wish became reality. Their relationship was far more than a marriage. It was an enduring partnership that had survived public scandals, private battles, and the unrelenting pressures of global fame. Sharon wasn't just his wife, she was his confidant, his manager, and his constant ally, standing beside Ozzy through every storm and especially during the hardest years of his life. Through every high and low of their shared journey, Sharon Osbourne has embodied unwavering love and devotion. Together, she and Ozzy faced countless challenges, from battles with addiction to the unpredictable turns of a rock and roll career lived in the public eye. Yet, it was in those very storms that their love grew even stronger, standing as proof of a bond built on perseverance, forgiveness, and deep mutual respect. The connection within the Osbourne family remains a powerful reminder that love is not about avoiding hardship, but about facing it side by side, emerging even stronger, with hearts more united than before. Sharon Osbourne has always been more than just Ozzy's wife. She's been his manager, his soulmate, and in many ways, the force that kept him grounded through life's chaos. Their connection wasn't built only on love, but on steadfast loyalty, trust, and mutual strength. The two first met in the late 1972, when Sharon's father, Don Arden, was managing Black Sabbath. From the start, Sharon's sharp mind, strong will, and magnetic presence forged an instant bond with Ozzy. What began as romance quickly deepened into a partnership rooted in understanding and empathy. Over the years, Sharon became not only a loving wife but also the guiding hand that helped Ozzy navigate the darkest moments of his career, especially during the difficult times marked by addiction and personal struggle. In 1982, Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne officially tied the knot, marking a defining milestone in both their personal and professional lives. Despite facing countless challenges over the decades, their bond has only grown stronger, becoming one of rock music's most iconic love stories, a symbol of unwavering devotion and sacrifice. Together, they weathered every storm, from Ozzy's career turbulence to personal struggles, always finding strength in each other. Their relationship became a powerful anchor amid the chaos of fame and the demands of a life lived on stage. Today, Sharon and Ozzy's union stands not just as a legendary rock and roll marriage, but as a timeless testament to love, loyalty, and resilience in the face of every obstacle. Throughout Ozzy Osbourne's long battle with addiction, a struggle well documented throughout his career, Sharon stood firmly by his side, serving as both his companion and his unwavering foundation. During the darkest years, when Ozzy faced his most personal demons, Sharon remained the one constant in his life. Her patience, resilience, and quiet strength became his anchor, helping him push through challenges that might have broken others. She wasn't just a devoted wife, she was his lifeline, the force that helped him hold on to his career, his purpose, and his will to keep moving forward, even when everything seemed to fall apart. In the decades that followed, Sharon Osbourne became more than a devoted wife. She emerged as a powerful public figure in her own right. From managing Ozzy's solo career to co-creating the groundbreaking MTV reality series The Osbornes, Sharon played an integral role in every part of their professional and personal lives. The show offered an unfiltered, authentic glimpse into the Osbourne household, revealing not just the chaos and humor, but also the genuine warmth that defined their family. Through it all, Sharon demonstrated remarkable strength and balance, managing the demands of fame while fiercely protecting the family's private moments. No matter how loud the world outside became, she made sure that love, unity, and laughter always remained at the heart of their home. The Osbournes introduced the family to an entirely new generation of fans, people who may not have followed Ozzy's music but were captivated by his humor, authenticity, and the wonderfully chaotic energy of each episode. The show offered far more than light-hearted moments from a rock star's household. It revealed a completely different side of Ozzy, one that was funny, relatable, and deeply human. Viewers saw not just the Prince of Darkness, but a father and husband who loved his family fiercely and wasn't afraid to show vulnerability. The bond between Ozzy, Sharon, and their children became the emotional core of the series, highlighting how love, laughter, and understanding held them together through the chaos. Even those who had never listened to Ozzy's music found themselves connecting with the family's imperfect yet heartwarming story, a testament to their realness and charm. However, that bond deepened even further as Ozzy Osbourne's health began to decline. In 2003, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a condition he chose to keep private for many years until publicly revealing it in 2020. The diagnosis marked one of the greatest challenges of his life, testing not only Ozzy's resilience but also the strength of his entire family. Over the years, he faced immense physical pain and the emotional weight of accepting a reality that could not be changed. For someone who had embodied raw power and fearlessness on stage, it was an especially difficult journey. Yet through it all, Sharon and their family remained his greatest source of strength and encouragement, helping him face each day with courage, humor, and the same defiant spirit that had defined him for decades. Sharon Osbourne, who spoke openly about the pain of watching Ozzy's illness progress, carried much of the emotional and practical weight during those difficult years. She was more than a loving wife, she was a steady pillar of strength, always there when Ozzy needed her most. Sharon was the first to accept that the days of constant touring, electrifying concerts, and life on the road had finally come to an end. After decades of facing every storm side by side, she realized that their journey was entering a new chapter, one defined not by schedules or stages, but by peace and presence. "I've been doing this since I was 15, and now I'm done," she told Billboard before Ozzy's passing. "We just want to live our lives, do what we want to do, and not be on a schedule anymore." In her interviews, Sharon Osbourne hinted that Ozzy had confided in her about something deeply important, a final wish he wanted to fulfill before his time came. Though she never revealed the details, it was clear that she was determined to honor that promise, ensuring that his final desires were carried out with love and dignity. Those last weeks were not only about saying goodbye, but about creating meaningful moments of family closeness, reflection, and quiet joy. Sharon worked tirelessly to keep everyone near, surrounding Ozzy with the warmth of the people he loved most. In doing so, she gave him what he valued above all else: peace, togetherness, and the assurance that his legacy and memory would live on forever. The legacy of the Prince of Darkness, born John Michael Osborne on the 3rd of December 1948 in Aston, Birmingham, is the story of a meteoric rise and a musical revolution. Coming from a humble working-class background, Ozzy Osbourne defied every obstacle to become a global icon, a man whose voice and vision transformed the world of rock forever. His journey was more than one of fame or success. It was a testament to resilience, creativity, and the enduring power of art. In 1968, alongside his bandmates in Black Sabbath, Ozzy helped forge an entirely new genre, heavy metal, defined by dark, thunderous riffs and hauntingly emotional lyrics. What began as an experiment became a worldwide movement, one that reshaped music history and inspired generations of artists to follow in his footsteps. Black Sabbath's debut album, released in 1970, introduced timeless classics such as Paranoid, Iron Man, and War Pigs. These songs didn't just redefine the boundaries of rock, they reshaped the entire sound of a generation. With their heavy riffs, haunting melodies, and deeply introspective lyrics, Black Sabbath captured the spirit of an era marked by turmoil, uncertainty, and rebellion. Their music became a voice for those searching for meaning in a chaotic world, cementing the band's place as pioneers of modern rock culture. Tracks like Paranoid went on to become anthems for generations, while Ozzy Osbourne's electrifying voice and unmistakable stage presence solidified him as the face of a new genre and a legend whose influence would echo through the ages. With an extraordinary solo career and unforgettable hits like Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne proved himself to be one of the greatest rock vocalists in music history. The song's unmistakable guitar riffs and Ozzy's soaring, electrifying vocals made it not only a timeless rock anthem, but also a lasting symbol of his resilience and boundless creativity. Yet, Ozzy's impact went far beyond music. Through the groundbreaking MTV reality series, The Osbournes, he reached an entirely new audience, turning his family into cultural icons. The show revealed a side of Ozzy the world had rarely seen: funny, genuine, and deeply human, while celebrating his unique bond with Sharon and their children. Together, they became a household name, forever embedding the Osbournes in the fabric of global pop culture. Despite earning countless honors over the years, including induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Ozzy Osbourne will forever stand as one of the greatest legends in music history. His legacy extends far beyond his albums and performances. It lives on in the generations of artists he inspired and the millions of fans whose lives his music has touched. Every time his voice echoes through a speaker, every time a new listener discovers his sound, Ozzy's spirit lives on a timeless reminder of passion, rebellion, and the power of music itself. He is, and always will be, an irreplaceable icon, the immortal Prince of Darkness whose light continues to shine through rock history. For this, Ozzy Osbourne needed Sharon's help. There was only one place in the world that could give him the farewell he truly deserved. Birmingham, the city where he was born, raised, and forever changed. Birmingham was more than just a hometown. It was the foundation of his identity and the heart of his legacy. This gritty industrial city, long hailed as the birthplace of heavy metal, gave rise to Black Sabbath and to the sound that redefined rock music. For Ozzy, Birmingham wasn't merely where it all began, it was an inseparable part of his soul, the place where his story, his music, and his transformation first took flight and resonated across the world. In the months leading up to July 2025, the city of Birmingham transformed into a living tribute to Black Sabbath and their legendary frontman, Ozzy Osbourne. The local government announced the Summer of Sabbath, a citywide celebration honoring the band's immense influence on music and global culture. It was more than an event, it was a heartfelt homecoming for the icons who had put Birmingham on the world's musical map. Throughout the city, art installations, concerts, and public dedications came to life, each echoing the sound and spirit that had defined generations. The city bestowed its highest honors upon Black Sabbath, and especially Ozzy, recognizing their unmatched contributions while forever cementing their place in both Birmingham's heritage and the history of world music. Among the many tributes, the four original members of Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, were granted the freedom of the city of Birmingham, a profound honor from the place that had shaped their musical journey. To celebrate their extraordinary careers, the city renamed a bridge in the band's honor, a lasting monument to the legacy they created. A commemorative bench was also unveiled, and most striking of all, a massive mural of Ozzy Osbourne was painted on the side of Villa Park Stadium. It became a gathering place not only for football fans but for generations of heavy metal devotees who came together for an unforgettable night of music and remembrance. That evening was more than a tribute. It was Birmingham's heartfelt salute to its most iconic sons, a celebration of pride, gratitude, and the indelible mark Black Sabbath had left on the world. This homecoming was far more than a concert. It was an emotional reunion that transcended music. Fans from around the world flocked to Birmingham, turning the event into an unforgettable celebration of love, legacy, and connection. One fan from the United States shared their excitement, saying, "Meeting Ozzy in his hometown was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience." Reflections like this captured the spirit of the night, a moment where the boundary between artist and audience disappeared. It wasn't just about hearing the music live, it was about honoring a lifelong bond, one built over decades of shared energy, emotion, and the unmistakable power of Ozzy Osbourne.